Well, good Thursday evening to everybody. Hope you are doing well. This is another rare prime time edition of the 1987 American League replay. Usually play all these games in the morning, but since there are some folks taking some time off and nobody's really streaming right now in this genre, we'll go ahead and get a game in. Instead of playing it offline, I'll go ahead and share it with everybody. We are in the Kingdome in Seattle. Today's date in the replay is July 10th, 1987. This is game 6 of 7 on that date. Game number 595 overall. Boston Red Sox, Seattle Mariners getting the call here. Boston won this game real world 7-4. Pitching matchup for the Red Sox, it's Oil Can Boyd, and for the Mariners, it is Mark Langston. So we'll look at Oil Can Boyd in the bottom of the first and worry about him at that point. Right now, we are looking at Mark Langston. And yes, I did make a snafu on the score sheet. I was so used to Owen doing the catching that not Owen, but what's his face doing the catching, Mark Sullivan, that I wrote him in without even thinking about it. And Schaefer is actually doing the catching today. So that's why that looks a little bit different there. Look at Mark Langston, both real world and on the replay. Mark Langston, the ace of the Seattle Mariners, 19-13 with a 384 earned run average in the real season. If we look at the replay numbers, he's 11-7 with an ERA of 3.63, 136 innings pitched, 118 hits, 60 walks, and 131 strikeouts. He was borderline all-star, but just couldn't quite beat out the top 4 or 5 starting pitchers. So he will not be the all-star. The only all-star on the Mariners is going to be Harold Reynolds. He will be their lone representative. Mark Langston is a 7 wild pitch, 3 balk, and a +3 on his hold. He's a +1, but catcher Scott Bradley's a +2, making him a net +3. Hello, Roger, Robert, Ben, and Philip. So good to see all of you on this Thursday night. Tomorrow morning, we'll wrap up the July 10th date with the game from California. It'll be the Detroit Tigers and the California Angels. Dan Petrie against Jack Lazorko, and that will finish out the week. You just got a computer. I thought you always had a computer. Did you not always have a computer, or did you have one that was on the fritz, Philip? I assumed you had a computer, but I don't know. But if you got one, that's a good thing. Helps to have one, I can tell you that. I just have a laptop. I did not have a tower or anything like that because I don't do any computer gaming that requires all that. So a laptop is just fine by me. And I like the portal. No pregame sip in the nighttime. I'm not drinking coffee this late at night. All right, so Ellis Burks will lead us off. He's hitting 279 on the replay, 9 homers, 23 driven in. He hit 272 in the real world. Oh, that white die went over the wrong edge. Slipped right off my hand, so let's try it again. Get off to the right foot here. 4-5 for Langston. That's a strikeout. That's a good start for Langston. Striking out Ellis Burks. And here comes Marty Barrett, second baseman. He was really close to making the All-Star team, but Harold Reynolds bumped him out because going by the rules, you have to have one representative from every team, and Harold Reynolds was the representative. Lou Whitaker is your starter, second baseman, All-Star, and Harold Reynolds will be the backup. So that means Marty Barrett got, just a numbers game. He got kicked out, but he is having a good year. 317 average, no homers, 24 driven in, hit 293 real world. That's a 5-7, and that is going to be a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Quinones, 3E31. 3-9, no problem at all. 3-9 is simply a G3, and no problem. E31 at shortstop, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 6, and then 15 through 18. 3, 4, 6, and 15 through 18. And boy, he just did. That's a 14. He barely avoids the error. But the play is made by Quinones, and there's 2 up and 2 down. Start this top of the first. And here comes Wade Boggs. Boggs, he is definitely on the All-Star team, no question about it. He is the starting third baseman on the All-Star team. Paul Molitor would have been, but he's injured, so he's not there. So Wade Boggs is your starter on the All-Star team as a third baseman. He's hitting 360 on the replay, 16 homers, 45 driven in, 363 real world. So he's almost right on line with his real numbers. You're very welcome, Jim. I don't know how educational it is, but or entertaining, or either one. But I have fun, so hopefully you guys can enjoy me having fun and watch me play it. I kind of set everything up as if you're just standing over my shoulder while I'm playing. Here's Boggs, 5-6, and that is going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Langston, and that will end the inning. So 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox here in the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Red Sox nothing, and the Mariners coming to bat. And on the mound for the Red Sox is Oil Can Boyd. Boyd on the real season, 1-3, 5.24 ERA, 7 starts, 37 innings pitched, 47 hits, 9 walks, 12 strikeouts. It's a shame that Strat-O-Matic can't put this information on their cards. There's definitely room for it at the bottom. If the guy who sent me these cards can do it, I don't know why Strat couldn't do it, but that's a whole nother issue. There's a lot of things I wonder about Strat, but oh well. All right, so there's the number on Boyd, real world. On the replay, he's 1-1 with a 5.94 ERA, 17 innings pitched, 20 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He's got no wild pitch rating, but his balk is automatic at 20. He's a +1 hold. Schaefer's a +1 hold for a net +2. And leading things off for Seattle will be Mickey Brantley. Mickey Brantley, center fielder Mickey Brantley, hitting 299 on the replay, 7 homers, 16 driven in. He hit 302 real world. It's a 110 for Brantley. He's going to pop it up to short. Spike Owen right there. 1 away. And in case you're curious, starting next week on Monday, it'll be the July 11th date. The first game on the schedule is the Twins and the Orioles, and there'll be a new member for the Baltimore Orioles on their roster, one Billy Ripken. Billy Blankface Ripken. If you remember that baseball card, the bat handle on his baseball card had the naughty word on it. That's kind of what he's known for, or probably most famous for, other than being Cal's little brother. But he makes his major league debut on Monday. It'll be the July 11th date against the Twins. Not that you were interested in that, just as an FYI. Here's Phil Bradley hitting 234 on the replay. He is the Joe Carter of the Seattle Mariners. He's hitting 234 on the replay, but he hit 297 real world. So it seems like every team has one underachiever, and it just happened to be Phil Bradley on this team. 234 average, 9 homers, 32 driven in on the replay. 6-4 against Boyd. That's a fly ball center field X. Ellis Burks, 205. 215 is good. E5, the only errors, center fielder, E5. 4, 16, 17, and 18. And no problem for Ellis Burks. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up the other Bradley, Scott Bradley. Scott Bradley on the replay is hitting 295, 2 homers, 36 driven in. He hit 278 real world. Lefty hitter, 3-3, and that's a hit by pitch plus injury, so we could have an injury on our hands. 3-3 was a hit by pitch plus the injury bug. If Bradley gets a 1-6 on the D20, he can stay in the game. 7 or higher, he's got to come out, and we'll probably have Dave Valley come in and catch. But a 1-6, he can fight it off. And he does. Scott Bradley shakes it off. He stays in the game. No threat to run, of course, but at least they don't have to worry about going to a backup catcher. All right, here's Ken Phelps, designated hitter. He's hitting 270 on the replay, 17 homers, 46 driven in. He hit 259 real world. That's a 1, but no wild pitch rating or 0 wild pitch rating for Boyd. Here's Phelps. That is a 1-6, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Mariners. Both teams go rather meekly. And that'll take us to the top of the second inning. Langston back out. Will face Rice, Baylor, and Evans. They have Evans playing first base today with the lefty on the mound. Bill Buckner's on the bench. They've got Evans at first and Benzinger at right. Why you take a Gold Glover like Evans out of right field and put him at first base is beyond me. I don't know what McNamara was thinking. You could play Benzinger at first, and you would not lose anything. You would have basically the same ratings at first base, but you would definitely improve your right field defense, which is more important anyway. All right, here's Rice hitting 248 on the replay, 6 homers, 38 driven in. He hit 277 real world. 4-5, and that's another strikeout for Langston, his third. So Langston looking sharp early, maybe making a late push for the All-Star team. But this is his last start before the All-Star game, so not sure he can do enough in one start to bump off anybody else. Here's Don Baylor. He's hitting 221 on the replay, 8 homers, 41 driven in. He hit 245 real world. That's a 5-9 for Langston. That's another strikeout. He's got 4 of them now. 2 up, 2 down. He's struck out 3 in a row. And here is Dewey Evans. He's most definitely on the All-Star team along with Boggs. He and Boggs are the 2 Boston representatives on the All-Star team. And Dewey Evans is hitting 357 on the replay, 20 homers, 61 driven in. He hit 305 real world. Hello, Dr. D. It's a 1-5 for Evans against the lefty, and that's gone. Dwight Evans. Look at that, up close and personal. Dwight Evans. 1-5, and that is gone. Straight up home run, clean as can be against the left-hander. Would have been the same against a right-hander as well. So Dewey Evans continues his strong replay performance. Home run for Dewey Evans. Let's get the numbers on Evans. That is his 21st home run already. RBI number 62. He had 34 home runs real world. He's got 21 already, a little bit halfway past his at-bats. And here is Todd Benzinger, a switch hitter, will bat right-handed. That's a 2-8. Struck him out, so another strikeout for Langston, his 5th. He strikes out the side, but in between, Evans goes deep and puts the Red Sox in the lead 1-0. Bottom of the second. Will Can back out, and he'll be facing Alvin Davis, Jim Presley, and Mike Kingery for the Mariners. Alvin Davis hitting 281 on the replay, 15 homers, 44 driven in. He hit 295 real world. That's a 6-5, and that's a fly to left, and that's going to be hauled in by Jim Rice. 1 down. And that'll send up the hound dog, Jim Presley. Presley on the replay hitting 209, so he's definitely struggling. 13 homers, 51 driven in. He hit 247 real world. That's a 5-6, and that's going to be a base hit for the hound dog. Jim Presley. No threat to run, won't go anywhere, won't be held. And here is Mike Kingery, right fielder. Kingery hitting 282 on the replay, 5 homers, 25 driven in. He hit 280 real world. And that is a 2-6 for Kingery. And that's ground ball third base B. Boggs will go to Barrett for the force. but no return throw to first for a double play, just simply a fielder's choice. 5-4. It does put a faster runner in Kingery on base where he might think about trying to steal with 2 outs to try to get in scoring position. But he does have an out range of 9-12 when he tries to get the lead, so that's a little dangerous. But I think they're going to gamble with it. They're going to try, see if they can get that lead. They need a 3-7 to get the lead. 9-12, he's caught, and that's an 11. He's caught stealing, picked off, whatever you want to call it. I call it a pickoff. So Kingery gets picked off, and that will end the inning. Oil can picks him off. And that will take care of things. We go to the third. Still 1-0. Here's Spike Owen. But if you don't attempt to steal with a guy like Kingery, you're never going to duplicate his caught stealings. So to me, if he has the opportunity and it's reasonable, you try it, or you're never going to get the caught stealings. I realize that, hey, you shouldn't have tried that if the caught stealings that high. But if you never attempt it, you're never going to recreate his caught stealings, is my point. In the real world, he stole 7 bases, got caught 9 times. Here in this replay, he's stolen 6 bases. That's only the 3rd time he's been caught. So the only way I'm going to try to duplicate or replicate those caught stealings is to make those attempts. So I realize under normal circumstances, I probably would not have done it, although to get in scoring position with 2 outs would have been big. But I figured it was a 50-50 gamble. All right, here's Spike Owen. Owen hitting .223, a homer and 16 driven in. He hit .259 real world. That is a 3-8, and that's a fly to center field. Hauled in by Brantley, 1 away. And now here's Danny Schaefer. He came back on the roster once Gedman went down with the injury. So Danny Schaefer doing the backup role to Owen. I'm sorry, to Sullivan. So Schaefer is in. He's had 37 at-bats on the replay. He's hitting .108, no homers, and 1 driven in. He hit .121 real world and 66 at-bats, just 121. So he's hitting .108, so that's not too far off where he should be, I guess. 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. That's Harold Reynolds. He's a 2E21. 2E21, 2 and a 5 is good. E21, 15, that might be trouble. E21 and a 15 for a second baseman. Nope, 4, 13, and 17 are the errors. So Reynolds, the all-star, will make the play. As he grooms himself for future Baseball Tonight duties on MLB or ESPN or whatever. All right, here's Ellis Burks. That is a 6-7, and that's a base on ball. His first walk issued by Langston. And now we'll see if Burks wants to run. Langston is a +3 hold, so pretty good chance for Burks here. Needs a 5 or a 6 to get the good lead. Doesn't get it. Not going to run with the secondary lead. So now here is Marty Barrett. 6-8, and that's another walk for Langston. All of a sudden, he can't find the strike zone. 2 walks in a row, and all of a sudden, you're bringing up Wade Boggs in a clutch situation. Boggs in the clutch against left-handers will lose a couple of hits, 1-8 and 1-10. It's a 1-2. It's a Lomax plus injury, so it's a possibility that Wade Boggs will be injured in this game. There were already 2 outs, so we can't get a double or triple play. But we do have a Lomax opportunity. 1-6, he can stay in the game. 7-20, he's got to come out. And he's got to come out, so that's going to do it for Wade Boggs. He will have to leave the game. And they will bring in Ed Romero to take his place and take over at third base. Ed Romero, utility infielder, will take over for Boggs. So Boggs ends up going 0 for 2. Now we have Romero. And Romero at third base is a 3E8. 3 with an E8. Fix this. 3E8. Let's go ahead and make it all where it should be here, hopefully. Three E8, and he does run at a 12, so he keeps the same run rating, but he's a 3E8 is Mr. Romero. So Ed Romero, third base in the third inning for Boggs. So that will send up bottom portion of the Mariners order, and it will be Ray Quinones. So now I go on the computer and take out Boggs and bring in Romero. So we've done that. And now we're ready to go with the bottom of the third. Quinones, Reynolds, and Brantley, the scheduled hitters for the Mariners. Quinones on the replay is hitting 249, 5 homers, 30 driven in. He hit 276 real world. It's a 4-8, and that's a ground ball to short. And that's one away. As Spike Owen makes the play. One down, and here comes the lone representative at the All-Star game for Seattle this season, Harold Reynolds. He is hitting 304 on the replay. No homers, 26 driven in. He hit 275 real world. 110, and that is another base hit for Harold Reynolds. And he's looking to run. Harold Reynolds needs a 2 through 6 or a 9 to get the lead. And he gets the 9. He's going to go 18, being held as a 16, plus 2 is an 18, 1 to 18. However, Schaefer's a T13, so you've got a risk here. If you throw to try to get Reynolds, if you get a 1, 2, or 3, you could throw this ball away. So I think with the big jump that Reynolds got, they're just going to eat that ball and not risk a throwaway because of his high T rating. So it is a stolen base for Harold Reynolds. And if we look at the numbers for Harold Reynolds, real world and replay, stolen base wise, in the real season, he stole 60 bases, got caught 20 times. In the replay, this is stolen base number 28. He's been caught 6 times. So he's in scoring position with 1 out for the top of the order and Mickey Brantley. That's a 5-7, and that's going to be a single 2 stars, and that will score Reynolds to give the Mariners the tie score they need. Base hit by Brantley ties the score, 1 apiece. And now Brantley looking to possibly take a lead here. 2 through 5. Doesn't get it, he will hold. For Phil Bradley. 1-9 for Bradley, struck him out. That is the second strikeout for Oil Can. 2 down, Brantley at first, and Scott Bradley, the batter. He was hit by a pitch on his first at bat. 2-7. That's a base hit to right field, and they're gonna send Brantley, and he will make it to third without a throw. They don't have Evans in right field anymore. You got Benziger, who's a -1, but he's no -4. Brantley runs at a 14, being held as a 13, but 2 outs makes it a 15, and going from first to third on a play to right field makes it a 17. -1's a 16. 1 to 16, well, they're going to throw for it because Bradley can't advance. So 1 to 16, he's out, and he makes it. So it's official now that he made it. So Bradley, the single, puts runners at the corners. Runners are at the corners. And why didn't it? Let me see here. Something didn't go right on my computer scoring. So let's. I think I gave Brantley the single. I didn't score Reynolds like I should have. I only had him go to third. So let's fix that. So Brantley will single, and scoring is Reynolds. Then we have the strikeout. And now we have the single by Bradley that sends Brantley to third. So runners at the corners, one out. Runners at the corners, two outs. Clutch situation for Ken Phelps, the designated hitter. Phelps in the clutch will gain a hit on 310. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. I thought, like I said, some people have taken a little bit of time off from streaming, so it opens up the window to be able to do this in the evening. All right, here's Ken Phelps. 4-6, and that's trouble for Boyd. 4-6 is a 1-13 triple. Now, Ken Phelps did have one triple in the replay, so I will allow it if he rolls, in fact, the triple. 14-20 is a double. That is a triple. So Ken Phelps, a two-run triple for Ken Phelps. And the Mariners take a 3-1 lead. The big guy, Ken Phelps, a two-run triple. That's his second triple of the replay. RBIs 47 and 48 of the replay. And the Mariners lead it 3-1. But they may not be done yet. Still got batters coming up. Alvin Davis in the clutch. Clutch at bat for Davis, and he will lose a hit on 3-8. That is a 2-6, and he grounds it to second to end the inning. But a three spot for the Mariners, and they lead it 3-1 after three. And they have turned this lead over to their ace, Mark Langston. They'll be facing Rice, Baylor, and Evans. Rice and Baylor almost sounds like the old Southwest Conference in college football. All right, here's Rice. 3-8 against the lefty, and that's a base on balls. Boy, for whatever reason, Langston, he's walked three of the last four batters he's faced. So Rice is aboard for Don Baylor. 1-9, and that's a line out right to Reynolds. One away. All right, for some reason, the computer's screwing me up again here. It's not showing the proper number of outs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this game just on the sheet. I'm not going to worry about the computer putting that in the scoreboard anymore. I'm just going to do it manually because I got to go back and fix all this, and I don't want to do that during the stream because it's too disruptive. So I'm just going to keep it with what we've got. And so we've got what we have is Dwight Evans batting. Runner at first, one out. But I'm only going to use the computer now to give stats of players that come into the game. I'm not going to worry about anything else. Here's Evans, 6-7 for Evans, and that's another walk for Langston. His fourth walk, and I'm not sure why he may be getting squeezed by the home plate umpire. I don't know. But it's first and second, one out for Todd Benzinger. .612, and that's a ballpark blast for Todd Benzinger. Met the Kingdom very homer friendly at 1-17, so this could be a three-run shot for Benzinger. And it is. Todd Benzinger gives the Red Sox the lead right back, a three-run home run. But what really cost Langston were those two walks that scored before the home run. Solo home runs you can live with. Three-run home runs will get you in trouble. And so for Benzinger, that is now home run. Get his numbers on the replay here. Whoops, the wrong button. Come on, get up here. Give me his numbers. Benzinger on the replay, that is home run number 3, RBIs 10, 11, and 12 for Benzinger. And the Red Sox reclaim the lead 4-3. Just that quickly, the lead can turn. So now Spike Owen steps up. Yes, Chuck, Tyler Houston was a catcher from the Braves organization. Played for other teams too, but Tyler Houston was a catcher back in the early 90s, I think it was. Late 80s, early 90s for Atlanta. Here's Spike Owen. That is a 4-9. That's a 1-4 triple. 5-20 is a double. That's going to be a double for Spike Owen. They're just starting to get to Langston, second time through the order. 1 out, runner at second for Danny Schaefer. 6-3, and that's going to be a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Kingery. 3-E-3 for Kingery. 3-18 is good. E3 and 11 shouldn't be a problem. E3 and up 3, 15, and 18 are the errors. So fly ball to right, 2 down. And that's going to bring up Ellis Burks in a clutch situation. You can Google it or look at Baseball Reference or whatever. I'm not sure the years he participated, but I just remember that name. Here's Burks in the clutch, and he will lose 3 hits right here in a row. 1-8, 1-9, 1-10. Also 2-10 and 3-12. So definitely anti-clutch. That's a good one, Dan. I was thinking last name instead of first name, but you are correct. Houston Jimenez. I remember. I think he was a utility infielder for the Twins or something. But my memory could be fading. 4-7. That's ground ball second base X. Harold Reynolds. 2E21. 2 and a 6 is good. E21. E21 and a 7. I don't think that's an issue. It is not. So Reynolds will make the play to end the inning, but a 3-run home run off the bat of Todd Benzinger puts the Red Sox back in front, 4-3. And while I did like the Rockies, I had a lot of fun with that Rockies horror baseball project. I do like the older seasons, but I'm really waiting to get to do something where it's no DH. That would be the other thing. I like this one, but it's got the DH. That's the only downside. All right, here's the Hound Dog, Jim Presley. That's a 1-7, and that's a strikeout. So maybe Oil Can Boy getting some extra energy based on the run support. That's his 3rd strikeout. Here's Mike Kingery. It's a 2-12 for Kingery. Ground ball pitcher A. It's right back at Boyd. 2 quick outs, and that's going to take us to Ray Quinones. It's a 4-3, and that's a 1 for a triple. 2-20 is a double. And that'll be a double for Ray Quinones. That will bring up Harold Reynolds in a clutch situation. In the clutch for Reynolds, he will lose some hits. 1-9, 1-10, 2-9, 2-10, and 2-12. So obviously baseball tonight did not help him with his clutch hitting. 6-8, and that's a pop out to second base, and that'll do it. So he fails in the clutch again. At the end of 4, it is Boston 4 and Seattle 3. Yeah, it was kind of ironic. I just happened to notice that. I was watching about Dolly Parton passing away, and then I saw something come across about Tim Curry. And it's like, wait a minute. I just did all this Rocky Horror baseball stuff, and Tim Curry passes away. I hope I wasn't a bad omen for him. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with that replay, despite the fact that the Rockies were horrible. Did manage to get them double the wins they got in those 59 games. I got 18 wins for them, which was pretty cool compared to the 9. And, I got to learn about some of their players, in particular Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. Probably my favorite player in the replay. All right, here is Marty Barrett. At least he's the only one I gave a nickname to. 6-6, and that's going to be a strikeout for Langston. That is his 6th strikeout to go with 4 walks. And here's Ed Romero, his first at bat since coming in for the injured Wade Boggs. And if I go to the Strat computer to get Romero's batting average on the replay, I can do that real quick. Whoops, I need to go there and just go right to his fielding. That's okay. I can go over here to Romero. If we pull it up here on the replay, Romero is hitting. Where's my average here? He's hitting 306, no homers, 10 driven in. He hit 272 real world. He's had 144 at bats, and he had 235 of those at bats real world. So here's Romero, 6-7, and that's another walk for Langston. Boy, that's 5 walks now. Romero, no threat to go anywhere, though. But for some reason, he's having trouble finding the strike zone. Here's Jim Rice. Six, 8. 6-8's another walk. That's the 6th walk issued by Langston. And Dick Williams has got to be pulling his gray hair out at this point, seeing his ace walk all these people. And here's Don Baylor. He's 0 for 2. It's a 1-7, and he's hit by the pitch. Now, you knew that was coming, right? Don Baylor, a 1-7. He was hit by the pitch. Mr. Hit by Pitch just gets hit by the pitch. Another example of lack of control by Langston. Now, he is the ace of the Mariners, so they are going to give him a little more leeway than normal, but he keeps this up, you're going to have to pull him. And here's Evans. He's walked and homered, infield playing for a double play. That is a 5-9, and that's another strikeout for Langston, so that'll help his cause. 7 strikeouts. 2 down. Base is full for Todd Benziger. He had the 3-run home run his last time up. It is a clutch situation. He will gain a hit. 112. That's a 4-9, and that's trouble for Mr. Langston. 1-4 is a triple. 5-20 is a double. Benziger did have a triple real world, so we'll allow it if it turns out to be a 1-4. And it is. So it's going to be a triple for Todd Benziger. So in back-to-back innings, he has homered, and now he has tripled. And he has 6 runs batted in 2 innings. All these walks and hit by pitches, all of them are scoring. Now Langston is fatigued. They'd like to get him through the inning, but, man, this is really, really bad the way he's pitching here. Another clutch situation for Spike Owen. That's a 5-7. Ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Quinones. He's a 3 E31. 3-18 is good, but E31 is a little bit questionable. E31, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 6, and then 15 through 18. And that's a 12, so he does just fine. But that's going to be it for Langston. They got to cap him at 5 innings. He just fell apart there. 7 runs he's going to allow, all earned in just 5 innings. So much for Langston being on the borderline of the All-Star team. That borderline just got ripped apart. So since I'm scoring this on my own and not the computer, I need to do the tallies manually. 6 walks, 7 strikeouts, plus a hit batter. So that's almost like 7 walks and 7 strikeouts. Hits allowed, 1, 2, 3. Just 4 hits, but all those walks, they couldn't sustain that. So we'll figure out who the new pitcher is going to be for Seattle in the top of the 6th right now. I might have to get Dick Williams out of therapy so that he can figure out what to do. Here's Mickey Brantley, top of the order against Oil Can. This is the fatigue inning for Oil Can. He's got a 5 right there, so this is his fatigue inning. Brantley 3-5, and that's a split. 1-2 is a single. 3-20 he lines out, and that's a line out. Spike Owen, 1 away for Phil Bradley. 112 for Bradley. He flies to Burks in center, 2 down. So Oil Can might be cruising for the 6th inning here, possibly. Facing Scott Bradley, 3-6, and that's a ground ball to first. Evans will take it to the bag himself. And since it's a 1-2-3 inning, Oil Can Boyd would carry full endurance into the 6th inning. Now Seattle has a decision to make. Which pitcher do you want to bring in from your bullpen? So I'll go to the Strat computer and see who the most rested guy is in their bullpen. See if there's anybody that's not available. Let's see. It looks like Bill Wilkinson might be. Nope, they're actually going to go to this guy. Right-hander. If I can get him over here. Get over here. Oh, well. Mr. Eastbound and Down himself, Jerry Reed. Reed 1-2, 3.42 ERA in the real season. Look at his numbers on the replay. Mr. Jerry Reed. And he also had 7 saves real world to go with that 1-2, 3.42 ERA. In the replays, 2-3 with 5 saves am I reading this right? Yes, I am. 8.58 ERA. He's been awful. I don't know how he got 5 saves, but he did. He also had a spot start, but not good. 49 innings pitched. I'm sorry, 43 innings pitched in the replay, 66 hits, 12 walks, 26 strikeouts. Also given up 14 home runs. Real world, he only gave up 7 in 82 innings, but in 43 innings, he's given up 14. So not too swift for Jerry Reed. So he's going to do what they say can't be done, which is pitch a couple of shutout innings. Don't know if it'll happen or not, but he's going to try it. And he's going to start out facing Danny Schaefer. So Reed is your pitcher. He's a +6 hold. That makes him a +5. So he's not good at much, that's for sure. So, but he's a mop-up guy. So that's what we're doing right now, mopping up down 7-3. Here's Reed to Schaefer. That's a 4-9, and that's going to be a fly to center field. Called in by Brantley, 1 away. Wrong spot. I always do that. I pick the wrong side to put in the results here. So Schaefer's 0 for 3. That's no surprise. Here's Burks. He's 0 for 2. 5-9, and he's going to fly to center. It might have been the same roll twice. 2 up and 2 down for Marty Barrett. 3-11 for Barrett, and that's a pop to short. So he did do what they say couldn't be done, which is get 3 up and 3 down. So he will come back and pitch the 7th inning as well. Mr. Jerry Reed. All right, here is Oil Can Boyd. He had full endurance. He went 1-2-3 last inning. And now he'll be facing the power lefty Ken Phelps, who had a big 2-run triple back in the 3rd that at the time put the Mariners ahead 3-1. 4-3, and that is going to be a ballpark single check, 1-5 at the Kingdome. And that's a 6, so he's going to miss out on it. It's going to be a liner to second base, where Marty Barrett snags it. 1 away for Alvin Davis. Oh, that went over the edge. That didn't count. The red die did not go through the chute. It's got to go through the chute and land flat. 5-5, and that's going to be a single to left field for Alvin Davis. He gets a base hit, and here's the hound dog, Jim Presley. Presley, 5-8, and that's a ground ball second base X. They were not holding Davis. So Barrett keeps his 2E11. This could be a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. 2E11. 2-16 is definitely a G1. So the E11, he has to avoid 15, 17, and 18. If he does, we have an inning-ending double play. And we do. It's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Turned by the Red Sox. That's a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in that area and you have tailoring needs, stop by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They're the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. And now here's Ed Romero facing Jerry Reed. 5-9, and that's going to be a fly to center. I think that roll's come up 3 times for Jerry Reed. So he's taking advantage of it. Here's Jim Rice. 2-10 for Rice, and that's a ground ball to third. So Jerry Reed certainly helping his cause here. Can he go 2 shutout innings? Baylor, 2-9. He can. It's a ground ball to short. So he's definitely doing what they say can't be done. He's got 2 shutout innings, 6 up and 6 down in relief. So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time, and Oil Can Boyd will pitch the 7th. This will be his last inning. We'll cap him at 7 innings. And he's going to be facing the bottom of the order, Kingery, Quinones, and Reynolds. Oh, that got slipped right out of my hand. Let's try that again. 1-6 for Kingery. And that's a base hit. Mike Kingery. And he's definitely not trying to steal when you're down 7-3. So he's prepared to play station to station baseball. Jonas, 210. And that's a ballpark single check. Once again, not very good. 1-5. And that failed. So he lines to short. One away for Harold Reynolds, second baseman. 1-9 for Reynolds, and that's a single. There's an anti-clutch, but there's nobody in scoring position, and there's only one out. So the single on the 1-9 is a two-star single. That'll send Kingery to third. Runners are at the corners with only one out, and Mickey Brantley, the batter. Infield for the Red Sox, of course, with the big lead, playing for the double play. That is a 1-5, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop B, so that will score the run. But they'll take that second out, which to them is more important. Fielder's choice for Brantley. He gets an RBI. Bringing in Kingery, cuts the lead to 7-4. 7-4 ball game. 2 outs. Brantley at first for Phil Bradley. That is a 5-7, and that's going to be a single 2 stars. So we wonder if Oil Can is going to make it through this inning. They might need some relief, and they are going to go to the bullpen. Left-hander Joe Sambito is going to come on for the Red Sox in back of Oil Can, who gave him all he could, but he's clearly tiring. And he's going to leave the ball game. He's going to go 6 2/3 innings. See how many hits he gave up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits. Can't do the run jet because he's responsible with these guys. It looks like he didn't walk anyone. He hit a batter, but he didn't walk anybody. That was big, not walking anybody. Only struck out 3, but didn't really have to strike out a lot of guys. Sambito was a -5 hold, so that makes him a -4. Joe Sambito, 2-6, 6.93 ERA in the real season. And on the replay, let's check out Sambito's numbers. Oops, over here. Sambito is 0-2 with a 4.63 ERA, so much better than that 6.93. And in fact, he's garnered a couple saves in the replay. 23 innings pitched, 27 hits, 8 walks, 21 strikeouts. So Sambito is on to face the left-hander, power-hitting Ken Phelps. I'm sorry, Scott Bradley, the catcher, Phelps on deck. But he's facing Scott Bradley. The question is, does Seattle pinch hit? They could go to a righty pinch hitter. They do have Dave Valley, potentially, that could pinch hit. John Christian. So Dave Valley is going to come on and pinch hit for Scott Bradley, and he will take over as the catcher, Dave Valley. So Valley will do the catching, or do the pinch hitting, then come and stay in the game to catch. He'll catch in the 8th inning. So Dave Valley. And Valley was a .256 hitter with 12 home runs, real world. If you look at his numbers on the replay, Dave Valley, on the replay, he is hitting .229, 6 homers, 22 driven in, so not quite as good. But he's a right-hander against the left-hander Sambito, and it is a clutch situation, so he will gain a hit on 2-5. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. But Valley is the tying run at the plate. There's a 2-12, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. That will end the inning. So now we can close the book on Boyd. He's going to give up 4 runs, all earned. And he's in line to get the win, assuming the Red Sox maintain the lead. So Jerry Reed will come out and pitch his 3rd inning. He does have a fatigue of 3. So he's going to come out and pitch this 3rd inning. And he's going to be facing Evans, Benzinger, and Owen. 7-4 now, Red Sox. And you know what? That's what the real score was. You know it's not going to stay 7-4, but I just happened to notice that. The real game was 7-4, and right now we're at 7-4. But you know with 2 innings left, somebody's going to score to break that up. All right, 5-9 for Reed, and I think I rolled that 5-9 about 4 times. All these fly balls to center field. That's the 4th fly ball to center field that Jerry Reed has induced on that 5-9 result. Here's Benzinger. That's a 4-7, and that's a base hit for Benzinger. Benzinger probably won't get another at bat, but he's a double away from the cycle. Home run, triple, and a single. But unless this game goes extra innings, or unless Boston just implodes and scores like 5 runs or something, he won't get another at bat to try it. But he's had quite the game for sure. He is the player of the game right now. No question about it. Here's Spike Owen. 3-4 for Owen. And that's a 1-3 triple. 4-20 is a single, 2 stars. And that is a 4. So Reed gets lucky. It's a single, 2 stars. The run does not score. And here comes Danny Schaefer. And the infield's going to come in for the Mariners. They can't afford to give up any more runs. They're going to play it in. 5-9. And we roll a 5-9 again. You believe that another 5-9, but this one's a sacrifice fly to center field. It's a center field B. That is the 5th 5-9 I've rolled in 3 innings for Jerry Reed's pitching. 5-9 has come up 5 times. Sacrifice fly, though, will score Benzinger. Makes the score 8-4, so we don't replicate the score exactly. 2 down, and here comes Ellis Burks. 5-8 came very close to that 5-9. 5-8 to strikeout is a dot, but he's not tired yet. So a strikeout is good for Jerry Reed. That's actually his first strikeout. And he may, well, we'll let him go 3 innings and we'll bring in somebody else to pitch the 9th. So right now, Sambito is going to stay in there for Boston because you got the lefty Phelps and the lefty Davis coming up. So Ken Phelps will step in against Mr. Sambito. 3-10, and that's going to be a fly to center field. 1 away, and here comes Alvin Davis. It is currently not a safe situation, so we won't see Schiraldi unless the game gets closer. 1-6 for Davis. He's going to ground it to second, 2 down. For the Hound Dog, Jim Presley. That's a 2-10, and that's a ballpark single check. Again, 1-5. And that's going to be a ground ball to short to end the inning. So Sambito doing very well for himself. He goes an inning in the 3rd, doesn't give up anything. He retires all 4 batters he faces. And the Red Sox will go to somebody else in the 9th. I'm not sure yet who that will be. Mariners need a new pitcher for the 9th, but we need to total up Jerry Reed. He went 3 innings, did Jerry Reed. And he's going to give up 2 hits and a run. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 1. But for him, that was an outstanding outing for Jerry Reed. So now we'll see in the Seattle bullpen who needs the work. Who might be needing some work here. And Ed Nunez, despite the fact that he's their closer, he really needs some work. So we're going to use Ed Nunez in a mop-up role just to get him an inning of work. Ed Nunez. Nunez on the replay, or actually, I'm sorry, real world, 3-4 with a 3.80 ERA and 12 saves real world. On the replay, he is 2-1 with 8 saves, a 3.16 ERA, 20 innings pitched, 19 hits, 7 walks, 16 strikeouts. And he will be facing Barrett, Romero, and Rice. Barrett, Romero, and Rice. Facing Nunez. 6-7 for Nunez. That's a 1-4 single. 5-20, he lines to short. And that's a base hit for Mr. Barrett. So Marty Barrett gets the base hit to lead off the top of the 9th. Whoops, let's move this over here. So in case it fell off the page, you didn't see it. 6-7 right here. 1-4 was a single. 5-20 liner to short, and we rolled a 3. So Marty Barrett is aboard. Here's Ed Romero. That's a 410. And that is a 410 is a fly ball center field X. Mickey Brantley, he is a 3E6. 3 and a 16 is good. E6 in center field. He has to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18. And we rolled a 15. Wouldn't you know it? So he couldn't avoid the error. E6 and a I'm sorry, no, he did avoid. No, he didn't. 15 is a two-base error. I thought I read it right the first time. Two-base error on Mickey Brantley. E8. And I believe that's the first error of the ball game for either team. And now with the runners at second and third, nobody out. Here's Jim Rice. Infield is in. 1-2 for Rice. That's a ground ball short, but it's a plus sign there. So that's going to be a 2-run single for Jim Rice through the drawn-in infield. Now they've really blown the game open. It's 10-4, good buddy. We got our CB game, 10-4, good buddy, which kind of ties into the Jerry Reed thing. And here's Don Baylor. So sometimes when you get a closer that's not in a closing situation, they lose concentration. Plus his fielder's not helping him either. 3-5. It's a ground ball third base A. That'll be a double play though. Round the horn, 5-4-3. 2 quick outs for Dewey Evans. Evans. Now, if Evans can reach, Benziger will get this chance for a cycle, but Evans has to reach. This double play really kind of took the starch out of that. So Evans has to get on base somehow. 5-9, and he does not. He strikes out. So Benziger, one at bat away from possibly hitting for the cycle, but just couldn't quite get it done. So Nunez goes 1 inning, gives up 2 runs. I believe, I'm trying to tell on this one here, because he would be first and second. I believe they're both unearned, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to call them both unearned because of that double play and then the strikeout. So not that it really matters. 2 hits, no walks, and the strikeout. So 2 more runs come in for Boston. They take a 10-4 lead. So Boston's going to finish with 10 runs. Is this right? 10 runs on just 8 hits? Doesn't seem right, but that's because of all the walks. 6 walks and a couple errors and so forth. So 10 runs on 8 hits for the Red Sox. And now Boston will bring in anybody they want at this point to finish out this last inning. Let's see. Maybe we'll see Schiraldi if he needs the work. It all depends on who needs the work out of the bullpen. Maybe since you're such a bad team, Schiraldi we're actually going to use Schiraldi because he just hasn't had the work. He hasn't pitched a whole lot of innings here. So Schiraldi look at his numbers, real world and replay. So on the real season, Schiraldi 8-5, a 4.41 ERA and 6 saves. On the replay, he's 5-5, 4.62 ERA and 9 saves. 39 innings pitched, 45 hits, 11 walks, and 46 strikeouts. So Schiraldi is in to face Kingery, Quinones, and Reynolds to mop up this 10-4 ball game. Unfortunately, it couldn't be as close as I would have liked to have been. But when you're playing these teams, you never know what you're going to get. 1-8, and that is a base on balls. So Schiraldi is in the game. A walk to Kingery. That would bring up Quinones. That's a 1. So the wild pitch rating, that goes to the computer to get the wild pitch rating on Schiraldi. And let's take a look here. That is wild pitch rating. Wild pitch rating for Schiraldi is a 12. And he will uncork the wild pitch. I'm telling you, when closers come in a non-closing situation, they just seem to lose focus for whatever reason and pitch very sloppy. Here's Quinones. 4-4. That's a strikeout. There was nothing sloppy about that one. Schiraldi says, take this sloppy. So strikeout there. One away for Harold Reynolds. There's a 2-8 for Reynolds, and that's a 1-14 double. 15-20, he flies to right field, and that's a 13. That would be a double, RBI double for Harold Reynolds. Makes it a 10-5 game. And now here's Mickey Brantley. That is a 4-8, and that's a strikeout by Schiraldi, his second. Now it's down to Phil Bradley, last chance. Phil Bradley. 6-11, and that's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-5. And there's your ball game. He lines it to Spike Owen. Mariners get a meaningless run in the ninth to make the final score 10-5. Schiraldi's going to go 1 inning, give up a hit and a walk and a strikeout and a run. Runs all the way across the board there. So 5 runs, 11 hits, and an error for the Mariners. 10 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for the Red Sox. Red Sox get the win. Oil Can Boyd gets the win. Mark Langston will drop to 11-8 with the loss. No save, obviously. Boston improves to 38-48. Mariners drop to 39-47. And that's going to do it from here tomorrow morning, I should say. Tomorrow morning will be the final game to be played on Friday, July 10th. Will be at Anaheim Stadium for the Detroit Tigers taking on the California Angels. It will be game number 596 on the replay. Dan Petrie, 5-4 against Jack Lazorko, 2-4. And that's what we have on tap for tomorrow morning around 9:15 or so. That will finish out the July 10th schedule, where all 7 games will have been streamed over these 5 days. So for those that don't get the chance to watch live in the morning because you're working or doing whatever, hopefully you enjoyed being able to see this in a rare primetime situation. And got to see Todd Benzinger go off. He is the player of the game. Bring him out here. Todd Benzinger. 3 for 4, single, triple, home run, 6 runs batted in, 2 runs scored. I think he kind of did it all for the Red Sox. So that's going to do it from here until tomorrow morning with Detroit and California. And also tomorrow afternoon, I will be loading in the pre-recorded first 3 rounds of the 2025 Wyndham Championship in Instrument Golf. I've already recorded that, so I will upload that tomorrow afternoon. And then, of course, on Saturday, we got the NBC Game of the Week and Inside Pitch, 1979. It'll be the Yankees and the Royals from Yankee Stadium. 1979 Inside Pitch for the NBC Game of the Week. And then on Sunday, we'll have the final round of the 2025 Wyndham Championship. So that's what's on the agenda for the channel between now and Sunday. Hope you all have a great Thursday night, what's left of it, and the weekend's approaching fast. So hope you're looking forward to that. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.